Hi, everyone. I'm Terralon. Welcome to Time Out with Tinseltown Mom. Today, I'm going to be speaking with Paige Dennis, star on Netflix DeMarcus Family Rules. Paige is also a mom of twins and battled infertility before having her kids through a gestational surrogate. Today, she's going to talk about what it's like starring on a reality show, plus the infertility struggles she had leading up to having her babies. Hi, Paige. Welcome.
Howdy, girl.
Howdy. Where are you from?
I'm from rural West Tennessee.
Yay.
So, yes, I'm kind of in the corner, what I like to call the armpit, but we've got deodorant on. So we're right up here in the corner where Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, all of that comes together near the Mississippi River in West Tennessee.
Oh, nice. Were you born and raised there?
You know, yes, I was born, raised, reared, the whole thing right here in Tennessee. I've lived here most all of my life, lived overseas some in China, but then a lot of time, just always come back home. And this is where the heart is, right?
Yes, right. So tell us a little bit more about you and your family.
Oh, so I'm married to a real good-looking man. His name is Zach Dennis, and I'm a cougar. He's a little bit younger than me, not too much, just a little bit. Uh-huh. And I've got two adorable children going through the terrible twos right now.
Oh, you have your hands full.
Both hands.
Mm-hmm.
They start running and you got to pick which one to save. So I've got Delta Paige and Zachary David, girl and boy.
Oh, nice. Very nice. All right, awesome. So you are also on season 1 of DeMarcus Family Rules. Will there be a season 2?
Well, I'm not privileged to say the details of that right now, but I can tell you season 1 was very well received.
Okay, nice. It was really fun. Like, I felt like I watched the whole season. It seemed like everyone on the show had a good time. Like, it would be fun, being on that set and just interacting with everyone. Did you have that experience?
Oh, absolutely. I think when people were talking about docuseries and docudramas, and reality shows in general, which is the general genre, they tried to say, lump it all together.
Mm-hmm.
You think of some of the bigger shows like The Real Housewives, and then you think of the older shows like Jersey Shore and things like that. But in all actuality, there's a lot of realness to it. Nobody fed me any lines to say or anything like that. Anybody that's watched the show, and if you haven't logged on to Netflix and watched DeMarcus Family Rules, you will hear this same accent that you're hearing right now.
Yes, I heard it. I heard that accent.
As my grandmother would say, I didn't put on any airs.
Uh-huh.
So I am who I am. And, it focuses around my best friend, which is Allison DeMarcus, and her husband, Jay DeMarcus, which is he's 1/3 of Rascal Flatts, the country group. And I truly am her best friend, I guess. I talk to her all the time, every day. She's texted me once this morning, but I talked to her 3 times yesterday. Sometimes I just turn my phone off at night because, she calls late at night, and I don't have time for that because I got those 2 kids.
Oh, yeah. Right? No, you have your hands full. You can't be talking on the phone all night.
I have to sleep.
Yes.
So, I'm an older mom, so when you're an older mom, you don't realize. I mean, if I was a 20-something mom, it would have been a lot easier to get up and do the darn thing. But being an older mom, I just can't,
Yes. So how long have you and Allison been friends?
Oh, gosh, over 15 years now. I guess about 16, 17 years.
Okay.
A long time. Yeah, I've known her since she was almost a brunette, so that's a long time.
Now, how did you guys meet? I know you have a business. Your business sells pageant wear. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I have a business called Joanne's, and we're in Union City, Tennessee, and we do pageant, prom, evening gowns. We dress everyone from the drag queen to the prom queen to everybody in between. And we're located in a small town, but we're one of the largest stores in the country. So Allison is a glamour queen, and she's obsessed with bling and pageantry. If you've watched the show, you hear about that. She was a Triple Crown winner, which means she competed in Miss America, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA, winning the state title for each competition. So we got to know each other through pageantry and have continued our friendship and in pageantry and television through the Miss Volunteer America pageant, which is a pageant that she spearheaded that a lot of the former volunteers from Miss America have come over to.
Oh, okay. And then how did the idea, like when the reality show or the unscripted series, when that idea came about, how did they approach you with being on the show? And were you open to the idea initially?
Yeah. So what happened was she's really good friends with Todd Chrisley. And you've probably seen Allison and Jay guest starring a lot on Chrisley Knows Best, which is on the USA Network.
Mm-hmm.
So Todd decided to venture out into his own production company, Todd Chrisley Productions. And it was just natural for him to go to Allison and Jay to be the first docudrama that he worked with and produced. So he went to them and he said, you guys are great. And he says, but we really need to bring in the cast of characters of your life. And naturally, Todd knew about me, and they called, and Allison said, would you come up and just do a little tidbit, just what they call a sizzle reel in this industry. So I came to Nashville with my 2 kids in tow to do a sizzle reel, and Todd was there, and we worked on that first initial sizzle reel, and that's all it took. And, I told it like it was. And, at first Todd says, you just got to be real with Allison. And then I let my guard down, and I was completely natural. And from there, Netflix picked up the series, and early fall, we debuted last year, and it's just been a whirlwind from there.
Yeah. Like I said, it looks like a lot of fun. Did you guys film during COVID?
No, we had filmed before COVID, and Netflix kind of put off the release of the show. And then finally, people were at home. Their lives changed.
Mm-hmm.
They were turning to streaming services and watching things. And even though we could have done a lot more press interviews and press things, we thought it best. And Netflix said, listen, let's go ahead and give this to the people. Let's give them something to watch. Let's give them something to see. So we just did, some small press like this, the best you can over Zoom from your living room. And the show was released in August. And it was just a success. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm not even an Instagram big person. And then all of a sudden, all these people were following me and messaging me where I got my shirt and, what kind of lipstick do I wear? And one lady asked me who did my lips. And I said, well, the good Lord did. These things aren't done. But
now you're an Instagram star. You're an influencer.
I don't know about that. I mean, if I could influence my kids to use the potty,
right,
I'd be a true influencer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
That's the thing. I'm not trying to sell anything, but if anybody's got any potty training tips, when you've got boy-girl twins, by all means, feel free to send me a direct message because I need all the help I can get.
That is so hard. Yes, that's right. You have a boy and a girl trying to potty train at the same time. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, I haven't fully started.
Oh, okay.
Because they've told me really you need to wait till they're a little older. A lot of the experts say that. And of course, my mother's like, you need to start right now. That diaper bill's outrageous. But, I just don't know. And then what do you do? You got the boy, you got the girl.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So on the show, Allison called your babies miracle babies, and she mentioned that you went through so much to have them. So I definitely want to talk about your journey that led to your beautiful twins. So first, how long did you and your husband start trying to have babies?
Well, first, let me say this. It is when people talk about infertility, I think the number one problem is they put it in one box. There's so many different phases and so many different parts of infertility. When you think about cancer, they've got cancer, but most people say they've got breast cancer, they've got prostate cancer, they've got, there's different kinds of infertility. Infertility is not a cancer, but there's still also different kinds, and I'm not comparing them in that way. But our situation was really, really unique. And I think everybody's infertility journey is not basic. It's unique and indigenous to them. And so with us, we were older, first time parent triers, knew we wanted to have kids. And so, after you got married, it's just like, okay, we got to get pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, for me, getting pregnant was really easy. I got pregnant maybe just a few months after we tried.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, got pregnant and I lost the baby.
Mm.
And you didn't tell anybody. You just kind of kept it to yourself. You
Yeah.
never made it to that 12-week mark. I didn't want to get my parents' hopes up here. So then it's just kind of like you had to deal with it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Oh, so many people go through that. And, I kind of have mixed feelings about that because people say, well, you're not supposed to tell anybody until the end of your first trimester. But I think you got to pick out some people.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You got to tell your people because if something happens, or good or bad, you're going to have to share in this journey.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a support system. You're going to have somebody be there for you. And so with me, I kind of made the mistake of not telling anybody.
So when did you tell them? Like after you miscarried? Did you
I never told. I never told.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I never told until after I had the children.
Mm.
So what happened was went to the doctor and come to find out I had been in Hong Kong and in China and had a bilateral pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot. And that was in 2012. We were trying to figure out where that was coming from. And evidently it broke off from like a DVT, which is a deep vein thrombosis. I didn't have any pre-existing conditions or things that would put me on the list for somebody that would have a blood clot. And Lord knows, as big as I am, I'm not an athlete. So I was trying to figure it out. So we went to hematologists and everybody. And the only thing they could peg was that my estrogen levels were high and that I probably had the blood clot from high estrogen levels.
So was that a signal, like having high estrogen levels? Did that give you a signal that maybe that was...
Well, the signal was birth control pills.
Oh, okay.
Birth control pills. And so no more birth control. And then evidently when you get pregnant, those estrogen levels go up too. So the doctors, the main thing they could see was that probably what happened is when I got pregnant, my estrogen levels went high and then I had a blood clot.
Okay.
And that's probably what happened to the baby in their best guesstimate.
Yeah, yeah.
So then we come to a situation where it's really easy to get pregnant. I was fertile myrtle, as the old wives' tale is. But do you risk having that pregnancy and throwing another blood clot? I mean, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
So my husband and I talked about it, and we knew we wanted to have a family, but we just didn't think that risk was, something. We didn't want to gamble with my life.
Yeah.
And
where was your blood clot, Paige? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that embolism.
A pulmonary embolism is in your lungs, so it broke off from my right calf muscle, which is called a deep vein thrombosis, and then went and blocked on each side of my heart in my lung.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I had to recover there in Hong Kong for a long time.
How long was the recovery process for that?
Well, altogether, I'd say in Hong Kong itself, probably, in getting home and there over 30 days.
Okay.
And when I got home, it was probably another 90 days.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then I couldn't fly home. So I had to take a container ship across the Pacific Ocean for 17 days from Hong Kong to Long Beach, California. So my husband came with me. We weren't married then. And we just kind of said, well, look, 17 days. And we're not talking about Carnival here. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't a cruise ship.
Flight. No. I'm telling you, there was no TV, no internet, no cell service for 17 days. You could see Mountain Kilimanjaro in the distance, and the food was potatoes, Pringles, chips. You know, it was not great, but it was comfortable.
Yeah. Were you in
And it got
pain
to,
during this time? Like, what was your comfort
no,
level?
was
Okay.
not in pain. I was exhausted
Oh,
because anybody that's ever had any type of pulmonary embolism will tell you it's utter and complete exhaustion. You have to retrain your body to, I didn't walk. I couldn't wash my hair.
mm.
And putting my hands up on my head to wash it was too much.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't have
that's
that kind
traumatic. You went through a traumatic experience, like after
Yeah, so
this.
it really just wasn't worth it to us to retake that chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we started looking at ideas, and I went to a doctor that Allison had recommended I go to about an egg retrieval. And I mean, I thought, gosh, I'm 40 years old, 41 years old. I mean, are these eggs really going to come out of me?
Mm-hmm.
And on Super Bowl Sunday, here they come. That doctor probably was so mad he had to come in and retrieve my eggs on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, oh, because they have to
But
come when. Okay, I see. I see.
you got to come when you're ready. And so they come. We were so fortunate, and I know other couples in this situation. I mean, I'm not being braggadocious, but I know other couples. They're not as lucky as us, and have so many.
Yeah. So explain that process for those who are unfamiliar, like
Yeah.
step
So
by
it's
step.
just like you're getting ready for uh, the eggs. You're getting your egg retrieval. You take shots over and over again. In my case, I was also taking Lovenox shots because of the high levels of estrogen to prevent blood clotting. And I moved to Nashville to be close to the hospital in case I did throw a clot.
So are we talking about? Do you guys have decided, you and your husband, that now you're going to go the surrogate route? Is that why you're doing this?
Well, first we wanted to see if I could get enough eggs.
Oh, I
You
see. You're
didn't know,
checking. Oh, I see.
we didn't want to get the cart before the horse here.
Okay.
We knew this was kind of where we wanted to go, but, why would we, go all the way down the road and get, I don't want to build a house with 5 bedrooms if I can only fill one.
Right. So you're testing everything
kind of
out to make sure.
Testing everything out,
Okay.
and it worked.
Okay.
And then and my husband, is like super sperm, so all that was great. And here we were. We had all these wonderful. We sent them off for genetic testing. Paid all the extra money. Everything was wonderful. We had our perfect little embryos, and then we decided to hire a gestational carrier.
Mm.
And we did, and our little boy was 36 weeks gestation, and we'd had all our baby showers. The bedroom was set up, and the baby died. It was a cord accident.
Oh, wow.
It was terrible. It wasn't around his neck. The doctor described it to me like a kink in a water hose.
Hmm.
And so then instead of bringing our baby home, we were having a funeral.
Wow.
And then it was hard. At that point, I was like, maybe we don't need to try to do this anymore. I mean, this stuff isn't cheap. You know what I mean?
Right. I heard it's very expensive.
Very expensive. And there was a time when I thought, I'm not going to do this anymore. And he passed away in October, and Allison called me on the phone from the show before, of course, we did the show. And she said, now listen, I know you don't want to think about having another baby and trying this again, but you're going up there to that doctor one more time. And you're going to tell him you're supposed to be putting up a Christmas tree and celebrating your first Christmas with that baby, and that he passed away, and that this is your last chance, and that you want to. And that you want him to help you find a carrier to have 2 babies. And you get back up to that hospital, and you see him. See that doctor right now. And we did it. And we went up there, and we found a carrier, and we had 2 babies.
Wow. So you told the doctor you want twins, and they obviously.
I did, and he gave me some parameters, right? We need someone 5'10" tall. We'd like to have somebody that's carried twins before, somebody that's got a family of their own, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you involved in that process of who will be carrying your babies? Like, do you say yes or no?
I picked a person out, and he didn't even find her. I found her.
Oh, so was it somebody that you knew?
No, it was not somebody that I knew, but actually I'd found them through a Facebook group, and then flew out and interviewed them myself, and knew all the questions to ask them, and then got their medical records. They were going to do this previously for another couple, and that couple had ended up like getting pregnant.
Mm.
So she had everything kind of ready to go.
Right.
So sent all her stuff to my doctor, and she vetted out great.
Wow,
And
that's so. What year was this, Paige?
well, it was on New Year's Day. Be 3 years ago is when I did this.
Okay.
When I went to meet her for the first time.
Right. Now, how does that
So,
work
yeah.
with the parents and the relationship with the person that's carrying your baby? Like, are you in relationship with them the entire 9 months? Do you check up with them?
I think it's entirely up to the people.
Yeah.
I just think it's how much do you want.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you want to be involved? I mean, for me, I wanted to be more involved. I wanted to go to doctor's appointments. My husband wanted to go to doctor's appointments, even though we had to fly to our carrier. We wanted to be pretty involved.
Right. So do you build some sort of relationship with that person too? I mean, I know like
I
sometimes.
did. Yeah, I did build a relationship with her, and I still send pictures and things on occasions of the kids.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
as a thing. But she has a family of her own and twins of her own too.
Oh,
So
and this happened after she carried your twins?
no, before.
Oh, she already had her. Okay, okay. Now, can you explain to us the difference between a gestational surrogate versus a traditional surrogate? I'm hearing that there are differences. Are you able to explain that just so everyone is clear on that?
Well, I mean, people call a gestational surrogate, the same thing. But to me, it's a gestational carrier. At the end of the day, what the public needs to realize is the parents that are raising that baby are their mom and dad, whether that's their own egg and sperm, which is my husband and I's case, or whether it's maybe a homosexual couple that, buys eggs and, does it that way for them. Very rarely nowadays do you see someone carry the baby that's their own eggs. You don't see that very often.
Mm-hmm.
It's still done. I think more so in other countries,
Yeah.
but not as much here. It's not as prevalent here.
Oh, and why do you think that is?
Oh, I just think that science is so advanced now that it gives us opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And and I'm an advocate for adoption too. I'm an advocate for anybody that wants to be a parent. If anyone's listening to this and they want to be a parent, the thing is you got to find your avenue. You got to find your chance.
Yeah.
And you just got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up.
Yeah. Now.
Don't give up at all.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you guys planning more children?
I'll be 46 years old this year. And I just really think that 2's enough for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say if something like crazy happened, and somebody says, raise this child for me or something like that I would. But I really don't think that, I think my family's complete.
Yeah. And you have twins too, so I mean, you're like doing double work right now, especially during the toddler years, So, what was the hardest part for you, like during the process when the surrogate was carrying your babies? Like, was there anything that was difficult for you during that time?
Well, what we decided was to not really tell my family or my people, because my parents, who were in their 70s, of course, had experienced the heartbreak when the first one passed. And then they had lost a baby of their own to cancer at a very, very young age. And so I guess one of the most difficult things was keeping it from my parents until just a few months before their birth.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how did that
So
happen? Did you make an
I just
announcement?
uh I just went to their house for their wedding anniversary and wrote it in their anniversary cards.
Oh, that they're going to be grandparents.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
And then
nice.
then I asked them not to tell anybody, and we kept it from the general public until after they were born.
Wow. So you and your husband showed up with these twins and like surprised everyone.
Well, not exactly. They showed up born, and then they were in the NICU for a little while, and then we announced it from the NICU. So because we didn't want people coming to our house for twins that were early.
Right, right.
It just wasn't. And then it was flu season, and then after flu season, it was COVID season, and
Oh,
then
right.
my poor kids haven't been socialized.
Yeah, you've really protected them from germs, right?
I mean, it's been crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
we took them out to eat. Both my husband and I are vaccinated and caffeinated, but we took them out to dinner Saturday night, and one of my employees and their babysitters was graduating college, and so we had a little party, and I was just watching them, and other people were like, well, there were other children there, but my kids just haven't been out. They haven't been anywhere, and I think that's been hard.
Yeah,
I
I can't.
haven't been able to share experiences with them.
Yeah, no, that's hard. And I can't imagine as a new mom, just, new moms usually, you're like kind of a germaphobe. At least I was. So imagine being a germaphobe during COVID and you're a new mom. That's probably hard too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had the hand sanitizer stations everywhere.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it was such a pleasure speaking with you, Paige. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us.
Listen, and if anybody's listening to this and they have a question about gestational carriers, infertility, reach out to me on Instagram at the Paige Dennis. That's Paige Dennis. And I will email you back. I answer every direct message that I'm sent, and I've answered a lot of questions about this. If you want to know about my lip color, message me too. But if you want some encouragement, if you just want somebody that can talk to you, somebody that'll answer any question, I feel like I have got enough binders and folders about this that I could help at the doctor's office. Never give up. And if you think you're going to, message me and I'll tell you how it's worth it.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. And where else can people find you? Do you have a website that people can go to if they want to know more about you in your shop?
Instagram's great.
Okay.
Joanne's of Union City on Instagram. And of course, the number one thing, go to Netflix, DeMarcus Family Rules. Watch the show. Tell us what you think about it. Add it to your Netflix favorites and get you a little taste of Southern hospitality.
Thanks for listening to Time Out with Tinseltown Mom. If you liked what you heard today, please be so kind and rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time.